Alabama Ford F-150, a proud sponsor of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Greatness starts here at your local Ford dealer. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Gamecocks and the Crimson Tide. First for Don Staley's third-ranked South Carolina Gamecocks, 25-2 overall this season, 11-1 in the SEC, and on a 6-game winning streak rolling into Coleman Coliseum tonight. Starting at guard, a 5'9" senior from Miami, Florida, a transfer from Florida State, Tania Latson. Latson averaging 15 points, 3 rebounds per game. At guard, a 6-foot junior from Albertville, Minnesota, Tessa Johnson. Johnson averaging 13 points, 3.5 rebounds per game. She also leads South Carolina with 69 three-pointers made this season. Starting at forward, a 6'3" sophomore from Camden, South Carolina, Joyce Edwards. Edwards, the top scorer on South Carolina's team, averaging 20 points per game and 6 rebounds per contest. Then at center, a 6'6" senior from Mumias, Kenya, a transfer from Mississippi State, Medina Okot. Okot averaging a double-double, 13 points, 10.5 rebounds per game. She also paces South Carolina with 39 blocks this season. And then at guard, a 5'9" senior from Atlanta, Georgia, Raven Johnson. Johnson averaging 10 points, 4 rebounds per game, and she is the point guard, the facilitator of this offense, leading the way with 146 assists this season. She's 5th in the NCAA in her assist-to-turnover ratio at 3.2. So again, the starters, Latson, Tessa Johnson, Raven Johnson, Joyce Edwards, and Medina Okot. South Carolina is led by Dawn Staley in her 18th season at USC. 500 wins right on the mark. Picked up that 500th win last time out on Sunday in Baton Rouge against LSU. She has led the Gamecocks to 3 NCAA championships. 5 times she has been named the National Coach of the Year. She's assisted by Lisa Boyer along with Gillette Law, Wendell Farrow, Mary Woolley, and Khadijah Sessions. The athletic trainer is Craig Oates, their radio broadcaster, Brad Muller. Now let's take a look at Christy Curry's 25th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama 20-6 overall this season, 6-6 in the SEC. Alabama's been 16-2 at home this year, and Alabama enters tonight's matchup on a 2-game losing streak. Alabama has not won since 2 weeks ago, picking up that 1-point win against 13th ranked Ole Miss. Starting for Christy Curry at guard, a 6-foot senior from Clarksville, Tennessee, Tamia Scott. Scott averaging 8 points, 3.5 rebounds per game. Then at guard, a 5'9" junior from Lilburn, Georgia, Diana Collins. Collins averaging 8 points, 3 rebounds per game. At forward, a 6'4" junior from Valdosta, Georgia, Essence Cody. Cody averaging 11 points, 4.7 rebounds per game. At guard, a 5'11" senior from Loretto, Tennessee, Carly Weathers. Weathers averaging 10 points per game for the Crimson Tide. She is also tops on the team with 79 assists, 45 steals, and she leads Alabama by averaging 6.1 rebounds per game. Then at guard, a 5'8" redshirt senior from Charlotte, North Carolina, NC State transfer Jessica Timmons. Timmons averaging 16 points per game. That leads Alabama this season, also 4.5 rebounds per game. Alabama is led by head coach Christy Curry, now in her 13th season at the capstone. She is assisted by Brooks Don-Williams, Kelly Curry, Tennille Adams, Sydney Ann Cottrell, and Chelsea Dungy Artberry. Director of Operations, Brian Johnson. The athletic trainer, Alicia Grisby. Strength and conditioning coach, Kevin Markle. Sports information, Anna Nobles. Great crowd on hand. Curry's Chaos, Crimson Chaos in full force in the student section, on their feet cheering on the Crimson Tide here in pregame warm-ups and just all around the court. A lot of fans locked in and ready for this battle between the 25th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide and the 3rd ranked South Carolina Gamecocks. Our officials for today, Natasha Kamey along with Billy Smith and Roy Golbion, all wearing the gray shirts with the white pinstripes, black shoulders on the shirts, black pants, and black shoes. Crimson Tide in their home white uniforms for today, white jerseys and shorts with crimson numerals on the front and back. Alabama across the front in crimson for Alabama. Meanwhile, South Carolina wearing the road black uniforms for today's ball game as they continue to huddle with head coach Dawn Staley, but white numerals on the front and back of those jerseys for South Carolina. Second meeting of the year, the Gamecocks claim the opener in SEC play over Alabama 83-57 back on January 1st. But now here we go. getting set for the Crimson Tide and the Gamecocks round 2 in 2026. Essence Cody steps in center circle for the Crimson Tide, standing at 6'4". Standing at 6'6" for South Carolina is Medina Ocott. And ready to go in Tuscaloosa for the Tide and the Gamecocks. Alabama trying to snap a 24-game losing streak to South Carolina. Get a key signature win on his postseason resume, as we're only 2 weeks away from the SEC tournament, just under 4 weeks away from the start of the big dance, the NCAA tournament. Natasha Kamey will approach the center circle. We are ready for the tip-off. Alabama against South Carolina. The ball is tipped, and away we go. Ocott wins the opening tap for the Gamecocks, who begin the game with the basketball. Playing on the right goal, Alabama will be on the left as we start 4 10-minute quarters of women's basketball, and a quick turnover on the Gamecocks. Joyce Edwards mishandling a pass, and the ball goes out of bounds over the baseline. Basketball right back to the Crimson Tide. Carly Weathers inbounds the ball to Diana Collins, who dribbles over the middle of the timeline. First Crimson Tide possession. It's Cody dumping it off to Carly Weathers. Left elbow jumper won't go. The rebound is tapped in play and then goes out of bounds. South Carolina was trying to keep the ball in play, but just lost control of it along the baseline. So with that, it will be Crimson Tide basketball with 20 seconds on the shot clock. No score, 9:36 to go in the first quarter. Collins, left baseline. Inbounds to the top of the key to Jessica Timmons. Timmons starts to drive on the right side, kicks it out Scott. Her three-pointer's up and short, and the rebound back to Scott, right side. Swims to the basket, puts it up, no good, and the rebound by Ocott right under the goal. Basketball with South Carolina, scoreless game, 40 seconds into the contest. Edwards, left block against Scott, throws up a shot off the backboard, and that's in. Banked in by Joyce Edwards, their top scorer, averaging 20 points per game for South Carolina. Crimson Tide basketball trailing 2-0, 50 seconds into the game. Top of the key, Tamia Scott. Run the screen by Cody to the left wing. Now to the top of the key, Collins. Back in the left wing, Scott. Dribbles inside the arc. SEC logo. A pass intended for the right wing to Jessica Timmons. She started to cut inside with Scott expecting her on the outside, so the ball goes out of bounds to the left sideline. Turnover on the Crimson Tide. Seen several turnovers to begin this game for Alabama and South Carolina. Pass on the right block to Ocott. Right side layup, good. That was long range from Raven Johnson, but she connects with Ocott to make it 4-0 Carolina. Basketball, the Crimson Tide. 8:40 to go in the first quarter, trailing 4-zip. Diana Collins pounding the right-handed dribble as there's action away from the ball, and a foul is going to be called on Raven Johnson. Contact away from the basketball for Johnson. First foul on South Carolina in this game. 4-0 Gamecocks lead. Carly Weathers inbounds the basketball in between the rings to Collins. On the left wing to Jessica Timmons. Timmons guarded closely by Johnson. Dribbles to the top of the key. On the right wing, Collins. Collins, top of the key, then the left wing, Timmons. Timmons back on the right wing. Head fake Collins. Now she drives in. Underhand layup up off the window is in. Great work, Diana Collins, to make it a 4-2 score. Alabama's on the scoreboard for the first time today against South Carolina. 8:15 to go in the first quarter. Gamecocks back with the basketball. Carolina on the perimeter with Latson in the left corner. Ocott back in the left wing. Here's the catch and release three-pointer. In and out, no good by Johnson, and the rebound by Cody in the paint. Basketball, the Crimson Tide. It's Scott over the timeline left. Alabama with the ball, down by 2. Scott. Hand off to Timmons, just right of center. Now Timmons, free throw line, left side of the lane, kicks in the left corner to Collins. Collins driving down the left baseline to the rim, spins around left block, floats it up. In and out, no good on the shot, and the rebound by Ocott in the Crimson paint. Basketball to South Carolina, up 4-2. Raven Johnson to Tessa Johnson at the top of the key. Thought about a three, instead to Raven on the left wing. Raven has her pass to Ocott, right block. She's got it, found her footing, and a right side layup is good. 6-2 South Carolina with Ocott scoring for the Gamecocks. Collins over the timeline for the Crimson Tide. Diana Collins at the top of the key for Alabama, scans the floor. Bounce pass top of the key to Weathers. Quick handoff back to Collins. Collins right wing to Cody, top of the key. Long range three is up, in and out, no good, and the rebound by Edwards. Basketball with South Carolina. Good work on the board so far for the Gamecocks as Edwards starts to drive down the left side, slams on the brakes midway through the lane and works it back to Latson on the left wing. Latson inside the arc, long left side jumper is short, and the rebound. Edwards had it for a moment, was falling down as she tried to grab the rebound, and she is fouled. .6:54 to go in the first quarter. South Carolina 6 and Alabama 2. Dinah Collins called for her first foul, and the first foul on Alabama. Naomi Jones coming in for the Crimson Tide, replacing Essence Cody. Also, Collins goes out, and freshman Ace Austin is in for Alabama. South Carolina with Maddie McDaniel just in the game. Inbounds the basketball quickly to Latson, and a left side floater is good. 8-2, South Carolina with the lead. Alabama with the basketball. 6:45 to go in the first quarter. It's Scott, left open, left corner. Her three too strong, and the rebound pulled down by Edwards. Basketball with South Carolina trying to build on a 6-point lead. 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Tessa Johnson, right side three is up, no good. Rebound Ocott, left side putback is good. 10-2, South Carolina leads Alabama. Basketball back with the Crimson Tide with Ace Austin just over the timeline left. Austin, Weathers from left to right, still just to the top of the key. Weathers, bounce pass to Scott, top of the key. Hand off to Weathers just behind her. Carly around the screen by Jones. Bounce pass to Jones, left side layup, kicks out, no good, and the rebound by South Carolina's Edwards. Gamecocks with the basketball trying to build on a 6-0 run and an 8-point lead. Edwards floats it back to Latson, left wing. Latson on the wing to Edwards, outside the left block, now bodies in the paint. Right-handed hook shot floats home. 12-2, South Carolina. Crimson Tide with the ball, 5:50 to go in the opening quarter. Ace Austin, top of the key to Jones, just left of center, Carly Weathers. Weathers looking at the top of the key, passes to Timmons, who is dealing with pressure the entire time from Latson, and Latson will be called for the reach-in foul. Second team foul on South Carolina. 5:40 to go in the first quarter. South Carolina 12, Alabama 2. Ace Austin with a right sideline out of bounds play. Looking, finally going in between the rings to Scott. Tamia at the top of the key. Veers over to the right wing. Now dribbles back in between the rings. Shot clock dwindling down to 10 seconds. Scott, top of the key, around two screens, goes down the right side. And now passes to Carly Weathers. Top of the key, her three is up. Off the iron, no good. Rebound tap by Edwards to Ocott. South Carolina with the basketball and a 10-point lead. Tessa Johnson, top of the key. Johnson to Ocott. Ocott on the right wing, McDaniel. McDaniel around the screen by Ocott to the left. Now back to Ocott, right baseline. Little jumper is up. No good on the iron. And the rebound tapped high in the air. Finally controlled by Ocott again after Alabama had a chance. Left side, it goes to Latson. Her three short on the front iron. And the rebound right block, Ace Austin. Crimson Tide ball trailing by 10. 12-2. Next dead ball will be immediate timeout. Carly Weathers at the free throw line. On the left wing, a handoff to Timmons. Loads up a high-arching three. That's perfect. Alabama's scoring drought is over thanks to the three-pointer by Jessica Timmons. 12-5 the score. Basketball with South Carolina. 4:37 to go in this first quarter. Top of the key, Tessa Johnson to Latson near the left corner. Now Latson steps inside the arc. Latson to the right wing, McDaniel. McDaniel to Edwards. Right elbow jumper is up. Short, and the rebound, Carly Weathers on the right block. Basketball to the Crimson Tide. Weathers floats it to Timmons. That goes through her hands, but Timmons recovers on the right side of the circle and now gains some space on the right wing. Tight defense on her by McDaniel. Timmons around the screen to the left of Jones. On the left wing to Ace Austin. Austin driving, gets Edwards. Floats it back in the right corner. Carly Weathers, 10 on the shot clock. Now it's Scott driving down the right side lane. Layup up, no good, and the rebound by Ocott. Basketball to South Carolina, up by 7. McDaniel kicks it out on the left side. Here comes a rhythm three by Tessa Johnson. That's good. 15-5. South Carolina back in front by 10 after Alabama had made it a 7-point game on the three-pointer by Timmons. It is answered by Tessa Johnson. 3:40 to go in a grueling first quarter. It's Austin on the left wing in the left corner to Carly Weathers. Weathers to the left elbow, now backs up to the top of the key. Floats into the free throw line. Jones spins around. Goes in the paint, spins, underhand layup, left side, blocked away Ocott. Ball loose on the floor, picked up Ace Austin. Ace, step back three is blocked from the right wing. The ball trickles to Tessa Johnson. Deflection after deflection, and then a foul called on Ace Austin in transition will take us to our first timeout on the floor. 3 minutes, 18 seconds to go in this first quarter. It is South Carolina with a 15-5 lead against Alabama. We'll be back with the remainder of the first quarter in a moment. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. A 10-point lead against Alabama, thanks to a three-pointer just a moment ago by Tessa Johnson after a long scoring drought was ended by a three-pointer by Jessica Timmons. 3:18 remaining in this first quarter. It's South Carolina with a 15-5 lead. Gamecocks shooting the basketball 53% from the floor, 7 of 13, 1 for 4 from three-point land. Meanwhile, Alabama shooting just 2 for 13 to begin the game, 15%, and the Crimson Tide also 1 for 6 from three-point land. So it's Crimson Tide trailing in this ball game 15-5. Also, South Carolina out-rebounding Alabama 11-6. Gamecocks are averaging 42 rebounds per game this season. Back on the floor, Alabama with Jessica Timmons. Alancia Ramsey did not see her last time out on Sunday. She's back on the floor. Diana Collins, Essence Cody, Carly Weathers as well. Gamecocks with the basketball with McKeer, working it in the left corner to Edwards. Edwards hands it her face by Ramsey. Edwards still in that left corner, goes all the way to the right corner to McKeer. She spins around against Carly Weathers, floats it up in the paint, leaves it short. Carly with a rebound, basketball to Alabama. Diana Collins running and gunning for the Crimson Tide down the left side of the lane. All the way to the left baseline, backs up to the left wing. Collins at the top of the key with a right-handed dribble. Collins backing up even more in between the rings, guarded by Tessa Johnson. Floats at the top of the key to Essence Cody. Then to Collins, left side layup, good, and one. Diana Collins. Maddie McDaniel had the late contact for Carolina. That makes it 15-7, and Collins will go to the line for a chance at one more. First foul on Maddie McDaniel. And here is Diana Collins to the free throw line, a 71% free throw shooter. Here's Collins, the and one is good. 15-8, Crimson Tide fighting back. Had some tough deficits in the first half as well against Oklahoma, but managed to take the lead going into the fourth quarter. Top 25 showdown. Crimson Tide 25th in the nation, Gamecocks third. Here's a pass to the right block to Miriam Dowda and a right side layup good. 17-8 for the Arkansas transfer. Miriam Dowda scoring for the first time for South Carolina. 2:12 to go in the first quarter. Crimson Tide with the ball trailing 17-8. Carly Weathers at the top of the key. Weathers out to Ramsey. Head fake by her. Ramsey still feeling the pressure on the right wing. Ramsey bounce pass intended for Timmons. Too strong. Tipped by McKeer. Right to Dowda, and the basketball with South Carolina. Quickly down floor to Johnson. Right corner three is up. Airballed it too strong, and the rebound on the left baseline by Timmons. Basketball, the Crimson Tide trailing 17-8. Weathers left wing. Dribbles to the top of the key. Now at the free throw line. Bounce pass to Ramsey. Ramsey nearly had it stolen away by South Carolina. It was tied up by Dowda. A jump ball with the possession arrow, giving Alabama another opportunity. Minute 40 to go in this first quarter. It's South Carolina 17 and Alabama 8. Lourdes da Silva Costa will check in for the Crimson Tide. The freshman from Sweden taking over for Alancia Ramsey. Diana Collins ready for the inbounds pass. Right baseline. Bounce pass on the right baseline to Timmons. Quick jumper up. No good off the back iron. Rebound in the paint by Edwards. Long pass out in front of McDaniel, and it goes right to Crimson Tide head coach Christy Curry on the Alabama sideline, out of bounds. Too strong on that throw. A turnover on the Gamecocks. Basketball with Alabama with Collins just over the middle of the timeline. Bounce pass top of the key to da Silva Costa. Hands trying to steal the basketball from Joyce Edwards. Now it is poked loose by McDaniel. Still loose on the floor, but Costa goes right back for it against Dowda. The ball trickles all the way to the baseline and picked up there by Johnson right under the Crimson Tide basket. Raven Johnson getting an extra possession for South Carolina to Edwards, driving right side, throws it up too strong. Rebound left block by da Silva Costa, and the basketball of the Crimson Tide. 17-8, South Carolina leads Alabama. Timmons in transition, fouled by McKeer. McKeer guilty of that foul, her first. And the fourth team foul on Carolina in this first quarter. Essence Cody goes out, Naomi Jones back in for the Crimson Tide. Also, Alicia Tornabes in for the first time today for South Carolina. Inbounds pass to Collins, right side of the lane. Bounce pass to Weathers, top of the key. Head fake by her against McKeer. Still Weathers at the top of the key. Floats into the free throw line, Jones. Jones kicks it out in the right corner to da Silva Costa, and just as she started to drive in, traveled with the basketball, taking away an opportunity for the Crimson Tide on this possession. 42 seconds to work with in the first quarter. Alabama trailing South Carolina 17-8. Inbounds pass to Raven Johnson over the timeline left. Johnson at the top of the key. Johnson, step to the right, guarded by Costa. Now it's Johnson, and the free throw line kicks it back to McDaniel, left side. She cuts inside, floats up a shot, no good, but draws contact and will go to the free throw line thanks to an Alabama foul. Collins called for her second foul. Ace Austin will check in for the Crimson Tide, replacing Collins, and to the free throw line will go Maddie McDaniel, averaging 4.5 points per game, 1 rebound. She's a 74% free throw shooter, and she knocks down the first. 18-8. Alabama hasn't scored in the last 2 minutes, 14 seconds. One more for McDaniel. Puts it in. 19-8. South Carolina with its largest lead of 11 points with 23.4 seconds to work with. Shot clock turned off for the remainder of the first quarter. Ace Austin over the timeline right despite constant pressure by McDaniel in the backcourt. Quick handoff to Carly Weathers at the top of the key, and a whistle blown and a foul called going against the Crimson Tide. De Silva Costa setting an illegal screen or too much contact. 19-8 South Carolina. Trailing South Carolina, 10 seconds to work with for the Gamecocks as the ball is brought inbounds to McDaniel. Just over the timeline at the top of the key, 5 seconds left. McDaniel downhill on the right side, throws up a shot, no good. Jones went for the block, but a foul is going to be called. Let's see if it'll be on Naomi Jones. Yes, it will. First foul on Naomi Jones. 15 foul on the Crimson Tide with 2.8 seconds to go. Carolina in the bonus, and with 2 shots coming up for Maddie McDaniel. Carly Weathers coming back in to replace Lourdes De Silva Costa. McDaniel just went 2 for 2 at the line. Now 3 for 3 in the game as that rattles in. 20-8, Carolina leads by 12. One more for McDaniel. Got it. 21-8 South Carolina. Inbounds pass to Austin. 1 second left. Pass mid-floor. Austin puts up a shot that is short and also did not get it off in time. Crimson Tide did not score in the final 2 minutes, 37 seconds of the first quarter, and at the end of 10 minutes of play, South Carolina with the advantage, 21-8 against the Crimson Tide. We'll be back with the start of the second quarter next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome back to Coleman Coliseum, where Alabama trails South Carolina 21-8 as we start the second quarter. I want to encourage all of you to check out today's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Had that earlier today, featuring a new conversation with Carly Weathers. Really fun conversation with her, talking about everything as we get close to the end of her senior year. A busy time for her family, her brother Ryan, a left-handed pitcher for the New York Yankees. Look forward to watching him coming up later on this season for the Bronx Bombers. Fun conversation with her. London Jemison from Hey Coach. Christy Curry previewed this game as well. And the booth cam highlights from last night's fun men's basketball win. Alabama in double overtime against the Arkansas Razorbacks. What a great time we had. Make sure you check out those booth cam highlights as well. All of that produced by Ethan Carabin. He's our video producer, producing today's basketball booth cam for Alabama women's basketball against South Carolina. Again, presented by NASCAR. Roger Hoover with you courtside. And great to have you with us on all of our social media platforms at UA_CTSN, in addition to all of you listening on the radio or the Varsity Network app. Alabama trailing by 13 as we start the second quarter. It's Ace Austin, Tamia Scott, Jessica Timmons, Carly Weathers, Naomi Jones on the floor as we start play in the second quarter with Raven Johnson taking the ball just over the timeline for Carolina, angling to the left wing. Passes down low to Tornabes on the right block, and a right side layup is good. 23-8 South Carolina. Basketball with the Crimson Tide. Here is Ace Austin just over the timeline left. Picked up on defense by McKeer. In between the rings to Timmons on the right side and then to Carly Weathers on the right wing. Around the screen by Jones to the top of the key. On the left wing, Timmons puts up a three. Nothing but net. Jessica Timmons with her second three-pointer of the game. That makes it South Carolina 23 and Alabama 11. Basketball with the Gamecocks. Scored last possession by Tornabes. Bounce pass to the top of the key, Okot. Hand off to Raven Johnson. Johnson at the top of the key, a step to the left around the screen. Her jumper is up, no good, and the rebound into paint. Tornabes has it on the SEC logo. That jumper no good. Rebound, batted around. Naomi Jones nearly had it. Now falling back to the floor, Carolina did have it before traveling called on South Carolina. Just as falling back to the floor was Aya McDowell. So the turnover on the Gamecocks will give it back to the Crimson Tide. Alabama trailing at 23-11 with 9:04 to go in the second quarter. Carly Weathers inbounds the basketball to Ace Austin. Picked up on defense by McKeer in the backcourt. Ace with a left-handed dribble over the timeline. Weathers bounce pass to Essence Cody, left elbow. Top of the key, gives it to Austin. Her three-pointer's good. Back-to-back three-pointers from Timmons and Austin, getting Alabama closer. It's 23-14. Gamecocks swiftly down the floor. A three-pointer partially blocked and well short by McKeer. Basketball in transition back to Alabama. Timmons to Scott. Scott drives in from the left side, right to the rim, lays it up, lays it in. Tamia Scott. 23-16, Alabama to within 7. What a start to this second quarter. An 8-0 Alabama run. 8-0 run in the last minute, outscoring the Gamecocks 8-2. Tornabes at the top of the key. McDowell on the left wing, picked up by Weathers. Now top of the key to Okot. Okot in the right corner to McKeer. Back to Okot on the right block. Okot nearly lost the basketball. 5 in the shot clock, guarded by Cody, and she stepped on the baseline. Gamecocks go out of bounds with the ball, and the Crimson Tide will have it back, trying to continue the momentum of this 8-0 run. Tania Latson will check back in for the Gamecocks, replacing McKeer. Carly Weathers inbounds and abounds to Ace Austin. So many times as well in the Oklahoma game, the good Alabama runs featured Ace Austin on the floor. That's why she played a lot in the fourth quarter. Here's Austin on the right wing to Weathers, top of the key, loads up a three-pointer and snaps the net. Carly Weathers makes it an 11-0 Alabama run. Our score, South Carolina 23 and Alabama 19. 4-point game for Alabama after the Crimson Tide had trailed by as much as 15 to start the quarter. Now at the top of the key, driving down the right side, Gamecocks Latson nearly lost the ball. Top of the key to Okot, wide open, steps inside the arc. 17-footer is up, off the back iron, no good, and the rebound is corralled by McDowell. Then a foul call as everybody tried to go up with the basketball, both on a shot and trying to get a block or rebound. Foul going against the Crimson Tide. As the Gamecocks will get set for the inbounds. Jessica Timmons called for her first foul of the game. First team foul on Alabama in the second quarter. 7:25 left to go in the second quarter. Alabama in the midst of an 11-0 run, now trailing 23-19. Gamecocks with the basketball. Raven Johnson on the left baseline to the top of the key. Okot, catcher and leads three-pointer is up by the post player, and she connects on only her fourth three-pointer of the year in 11 attempts. Scoring drought over for Carolina, 26-19 with that tray. Weathers flips the basketball to Collins. Collins on the left wing. Diana at the top of the key. Shuffles to the right wing, now backs up in between the rings. Calls out a new play with 10 on the shot clock. Floats it to Cody at the top of the key, just inside the arc. Cody kicks it to Scott. Head fake by her, driving in the paint. Scott triple team trying to lose control of the basketball or pass it out, but instead it's stolen away by Latson. Great defense by South Carolina. 3 defenders on Scott at one time. Latson, free throw line, pull-up jumper. Give it to her. 28-19, South Carolina finding some offense with the last 5 points. 6.5 minutes to go before halftime. Basketball back with Alabama. Cody to Collins on the right wing. Collins driving inside, swings at Cody to the free throw line in the right corner. Timmons, head fake by her. Driving down the right baseline, her shot blocked and taken away with authority by Okot. Basketball with South Carolina trying to build on this lead. Here's a floater in the paint, Raven Johnson. That kicks out no good. Rebound tapped and controlled by Tamia Scott. Then the ball poked away from her by Latson. She finds Tornabes, right side layup good. 30-19. What a sequence as the inbounds pass is deflected by Johnson, but still finds Diana Collins down the left corner to Tamia Scott. Scott to Weathers, top of the key. Her 3 is up, off the back iron, no good. Tornabes the rebound on the left block. South Carolina with the basketball up by 11 after Alabama had made it a 4-point game. A quick 7-0 run for USC. Johnson at the top of the key. Bounce pass to Okot. Okot kind of traveled in the paint. Puts up a left side layup good. 32-19. Now a 9-0 Carolina run. Several Euro steps, and even Christy Curry rolling her fist over and over, indicating that she traveled. Basketball back with Alabama. Here's Weathers, right elbow, kicks it all the way to the left corner. Scott, her open 3 is good. Scoring drought of 2.5 minutes over for Alabama, 32-22. It was 3-pointers that got Alabama back in this game. Early second quarter, that's got to continue midway in this quarter. Crimson Tide trailing by 10. Gamecocks with the basketball. Weathers trying to get a steal against Latson on the left side. To Tornabes. Left block jumper is good, just over the top of Jessica Timmons. 34-22, hard to defend for Tornabes, who of course stands at 6'7". Basketball with Alabama. Collins at the top of the key. Picked up on defense by Latson. To Timmons, back to Collins, just around to the right side, staying on the perimeter to Timmons at the top of the key. Timmons, step inside the arc to Collins, free throw line. Collins feels some pressure, bounce pass to Scott. Scott driving in from the right side, reverses to the left side, layup up and good and one. And she'll have a free throw coming up when we come back from a timeout on the floor. 34-24, both teams starting to find some offense as the Crimson Tide try and keep pace with one of the nation's best teams, South Carolina. 4:25 to go before halftime. Our score in Tuscaloosa, South Carolina 34, Alabama 24. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Minutes, 25 seconds to go in the second quarter. South Carolina 34 and Alabama 24. Tonight's game brought to you by Good Molecules. Keep your skin Roll Tide ready with Good Molecules and see a difference in your skin today. Add Good Molecules to your routine at Ulta Beauty here in Tuscaloosa or online on Amazon Prime. Thank you to Good Molecules for being a partner of Alabama women's basketball. While we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network. To Coleman Coliseum on the campus of the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Roger Hoover with you courtside. Our game being produced by Jerry Kelly back at our Learfield studios. Ethan Carabin producing our basketball booth cam presented by NASCAR and all of our social media platforms. Crimson Tide trailing 34-24, finding some offense for Alabama in this quarter, outscoring the Gamecocks 16-13. Alabama, after going 1 for 6 from 3 in the first quarter, seen the Crimson Tide go 4 for 5 from three-point land in this quarter. So some really good work for Alabama from beyond the arc, just trying to keep pace again with South Carolina, who had a long scoring drought when Alabama went on an 11-0 run, but then the Gamecocks answered with a 9-0 run of their own. Foul against Tornabe's on a made basket by Tamia Scott before we went to break. So now it's the Middle Tennessee transfer. Scott at the free throw line for her and one, and she puts it in. 34-25, Crimson Tide trailing by 9, 4:20 to play in the first half. South Carolina just over the timeline with McDaniel to the right wing, in between the rings to Tessa Johnson. Johnson on the left wing, stepping inside the arc, pushing to McDaniel in the right wing. Now top of the key to Latson, right elbow jumper, swirls out, no good, and the rebound right block, Naomi Jones. Basketball with Alabama. Austin out in front to Timmons in the left corner. Timmons, after nearly mishandling the pass, spins around the left wing. To the right block, it's Jones. Reversing to the left block. Naomi puts it up and in. Excellent work, Naomi Jones. 34-27, 7-point game with 3:47 to go in the second quarter. South Carolina with the basketball. Latson on the right wing, around the screen by Okot to the top of the key. Edwards, left elbow, backing up a step, and now to the right baseline, and now back to the left wing. Here comes the three-pointer up and in by McDaniel. 37-27, Gamecocks back in front by 10. 3:25 left to go as Tamia Scott will hustle back to the baseline and bound the basketball to Ace Austin. Scott was getting set up offensively for the Crimson Tide at the other end of the floor. Ace with the bounce pass to the top of the key to Jessica Timmons. Timmons, a step to the right around the screen of Naomi Jones. Switches back on the left wing to Scott. Then a pass from Scott intended for Jones, intercepted by the Gamecocks. McDowell quickly to Tessa Johnson on the left wing. Left side of the lane, Edwards. Turnaround floater is up and good. With that, Christy Curry calls timeout. 39-27, South Carolina by a 12-point lead as Coach Curry talks with Scott mostly about that last pass that she had that was stolen away by Carolina, and then also not being ready to inbound the basketball on the other end of the floor as well. So the Crimson Tide talking things over as both teams are shooting the basketball well this quarter. Alabama at 77%. Crimson Tide 7 of 9, making 3 shots in a row. Meanwhile, Carolina 8 of 14 in this quarter, shooting 57% for the second quarter, 51% for the game. Alabama just behind at 41% after getting off to a slow start shooting the basketball. Carly Weathers back in the game as Tamia Scott will be on the bench for the Crimson Tide. As the inbounds pass comes in to Ace Austin. Tiana Chambers in for the first time today for the Crimson Tide. Bounce pass to Timmons, then to Carly Weathers on the right wing. Alabama ball trailing by 12. Weathers had her pass from right to left, intercepted by Johnson. Then she lost her footing, but a foul's going to be called in transition against Alabama. Christy Curry, hands up, can't believe it, as Timmons and Carly Weathers were trying to cover her more than anything. And the foul's going to be called on Carly Weathers, who wasn't nearly as close as Timmons, to be honest with you, but tough break for the Crimson Tide. Weathers never touched her. She just lost her footing. Now it's Edwards to the top of the key to McDaniel. Back to Tessa Johnson, right wing. To Edwards, to Okot, right block against Jones. Her shot up, partially blocked, but Okot got it back. Now Okot trying to spin for help and goes out of play or just travels to the basketball. How about that? Turnover on South Carolina after some good defense in the post by Naomi Jones. Naomi stands at 6'4" and having to deal with Okot, who stands at 6'6". 2:15 to go. Second quarter, Carolina leads 39-27 over Alabama. Austin with the bounce pass to Weathers, top of the key. Weathers floats it to Timmons inside the right elbow, back to Weathers, top of the key. Weathers to the free throw line, then Timmons. Head fake by her. Kicks it out to Chambers, right corner, her three is up, in and out, no good. And the rebound right side of the lane by Edwards. Edwards passing to McDaniel. McDaniel swiftly down floor, her shot up, no good, and a foul's going to be called. Down to Chambers trying to guard and slow down a Carolina fast break opportunity. Chambers, the 6'1 freshman from Aurora, Colorado, four-star recruit. Starting to see a little more playing time. Christy Curry mentioned in our pregame interview presented by Ford. Tiana Chambers just somebody that has done all the right things in practice, and that is why she is starting to get some extended playing opportunities as a freshman in the SEC. Maddie McDaniel back to the free throw line where she has been 4 times today, now 5, and all 5 have gone in. 40-27, South Carolina with a 13-point lead. She is the only player that's been to the line for the Gamecocks. Perfect 5 of 5. And she misses the 6, but the quick rebound on the paint by Okot, left side, layup good to make it 42-27. So just like that, Alabama is now back to its largest deficit of 15 points after the Crimson Tide had made it as close as a 4-point game earlier in this quarter. Austin at the top of the key. On the left wing, a handoff to Chambers. Chambers, free throw line. To Timmons. Timmons, SEC logo, kicks it out. Chambers, right side 3. Got it! Tiana Chambers buries the three-pointer, her first as a member of the Crimson Tide. 42-30. Basketball back with South Carolina. It's Okot under the basket, clearing it to McDaniel. Then on the right wing, here's Latson with a 3. No good. And a whistle blown. The ball deflected back to Alabama. Thought the foul may be called on Timmons guarding Latson, but play does continue. Now it's Austin, bounce pass Jones, floater in the paint short, and the rebound by Okot. Basketball to South Carolina. Latson swings it to Tessa Johnson, left side 3 is short on the front iron, rebound on the right block by Naomi Jones. Basketball with Alabama, 49 seconds to work with in the second quarter. Crimson Tide trailing by 12, 42-30. Ace Austin at the top of the key. Austin. Top of the key in the left corner, Timmons loads up a 3. That's too strong. Okot knocks the ball out of bounds with the right hand over the baseline, and it will be Crimson Tide ball, 10 at the moment on the shot clock. 34.1 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Essence Cody replacing Naomi Jones for the Crimson Tide. Alabama inbounding the basketball with Ace Austin. Right baseline into Timmons. Right baseline jumper is good. We saw that play earlier for the Crimson Tide. This time it works. 42-32. Carolina basketball with 25 seconds remaining in the second quarter. No more shot clock. Dribbling in mid-floor over script A in crimson. Maddie McDaniel picked up on defense by Ace Austin. Now switched on to by Timmons as the clock dwindles down to 10 seconds. McDaniel left front court. Gets around Timmons, and foul's going to be called on Timmons, trying to slow her down. Second foul on Timmons. 4th team foul on Alabama. Kind of a quick foul by Tim, or really trying to make sure she had the contact to foul. I wonder if Alabama will foul quickly again. It's put the Gamecocks at the line with 5 team fouls with 7.4 seconds to go. Treating this like the end of a second half as a quick pass down low intended for Edwards goes too strong. Rebound by Timmons. Timmons beyond half-court heave is no good off the backboard, and the second quarter comes to a close. Second quarter where Alabama outscored South Carolina 24-21. Still some work to do for Alabama as we get ready for the second half here in Tuscaloosa. Our score at halftime: 3rd-ranked South Carolina 42, 25th-ranked Alabama 32. 10-point deficit for the Tide at the break to the Gamecocks. We will step aside and come back with the Toyota halftime report coming up next, as we will take a look at the first half stats plus scores around the country, including the SEC. Once again, our score of the break: South Carolina 42, Alabama 32. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Alabama down by 10 as we start the Toyota halftime report. Roger Hoover with you courtside here in Tuscaloosa. Take a look at the first half stats for the Crimson Tide. Shooting the basketball 41%, 12 of 29. Alabama also 6 of 14 from three-point land and 2 of 2 at the free throw line. Crimson Tide with 15 rebounds, being out-rebounded 21-15, 9 assists, 9 turnovers, 1 steal, and 1 block for Alabama in the first half. For South Carolina, the Gamecocks 17 of 35, shooting 48% for the game, only 3 of 10, 30% from 3, and then 5 of 6 at the free throw line. That is all, with Maddie McDaniel going to the free throw line. 21 rebounds, as I mentioned, 10 assists compared to 10 assists, 6 turnovers, 6 steals, and 4 blocks for South Carolina in the first half. Top scorer for Alabama, 2 players with 8 points, Tamia Scott as well as Jessica Timmons, and then 5 points from Diana Collins, 3 points each by Carly Weathers, Ace Austin, and Tiana Chambers. For South Carolina, Medina Okot with 13 points, 6 points for Joyce Edwards and Alicia Tornaves, leading the way for South Carolina. Again, our score, South Carolina 42 and Alabama 32 here at halftime. When we come back, we'll take a look at maybe some surprising scores around the Southeastern Conference on this Thursday night. Again, our score in Tuscaloosa, South Carolina 42 and Alabama 32. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Time in Tuscaloosa, South Carolina 42 and Alabama 32. Take a look at some other scores around SEC women's basketball tonight, brought to you by Alabama Power. When you cheer, we cheer. Alabama Power, a proud supporter of the Alabama Crimson Tide. One of the later games tonight in the SEC. They're almost done in Fayetteville. It's Texas who will be in this building a week from Sunday, up 85-56 against Arkansas as the Razorbacks remain winless in the SEC at 0-12. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter from Oxford. LSU with a 24-17 lead at 17th ranked Ole Miss. Top 20 matchup between LSU and Ole Miss. Also 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Florida looking poised to pick up a win at Mississippi State, 65-51. The Gators with a win would improve to 4-9 in the SEC. That'll be Alabama's opponent coming up on Sunday. Earlier tonight, the Auburn Tigers picked up a win, 71-58 against the Missouri Tigers in Como. It was 11th-ranked Oklahoma outlasting Georgia 71-67, a game that went down to the wire. Georgia continuing to pick up steam at this point of the year, but 71-67 the final. That was after Georgia just upset Vanderbilt over the weekend. Speaking of upsets, how about Knoxville? Texas A&M defeating the Tennessee Lady Volunteers. 82-74 is the final score. That's after Tennessee lost earlier in the week to Ole Miss, but Coach Johnny Taylor picking up a nice win for A&M. 82-74 the final score from the Food City Center. Our score here in Tuscaloosa at halftime, it's South Carolina 42 and Alabama 32. When we come back, we'll take a look at what needs to happen for the Crimson Tide in the second half. Again, our score, South Carolina 42 and Alabama 32. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. South Carolina 42-32 as we continue on the Toyota halftime report. What to expect in the second half is presented by Coca-Cola. Passionate fans and an ice cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. Well, for the Crimson Tide, saw some really good things in the second quarter of this ball game, especially knocking down 6 3-pointers for Alabama. Really love seeing that for the Crimson Tide, as really everyone got involved for Alabama from deep. Tamia Scott, Carly Weathers, Ace Austin, as well as Tiana Chambers, her first one in an Alabama uniform. Jessica Timmons led the way with 2 for Alabama. But for the Crimson Tide, trying to limit turnovers will certainly be important. Carolina, of course, forces teams to turn over the basketball a lot, and Alabama's already turned the ball over 9 times in this ball game. Carolina, as a result, has been able to score 10 of its 42 points off of turnovers. And in the paint, Carolina doing good work there, outscoring Alabama 20-10. But you know it's a tough challenge going up against the nation's 3rd best team in South Carolina and the national runner-up from a season ago. And the Crimson Tide down by as many as 15 in this ball game, trailing by 10 as we get ready for the start of the second quarter. Gamecocks back on the floor. We will see the Crimson Tide return to the floor shortly as well. So that's going to do it for the Toyota Halftime Report. Visit your local Toyota dealers or explore SEToyota.com today. Take advantage of our deals on our full line of vehicles. No matter your destination, Toyota goes with you. Toyota, let's go places. Again, the score in Tuscaloosa at halftime. South Carolina 42 and Alabama 32. 2. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. As we get ready to start the third quarter here in Tuscaloosa. Glad to have you with us on the Crimson Tide Sports Network for the Crimson Tide and the Gamecocks. Jessica Timmons, Tamia Scott leading the way with 8 points for Alabama in the first half. Meanwhile, it is Medina Okot leading the way for Carolina with 13 points as we get set to begin quarter number 3. Alabama in the home white jerseys, South Carolina in the road black. Our officials Natasha Kamey, Billy Smith, and Roy Gilbion on this Thursday night. Final Thursday night home game of the season. Last home game will be a Sunday morning contest starting at 11 a.m. for senior day against the Texas Longhorns. And again, great crowd on hand, student section among the best crowds we've seen this year, just like the last time out for the Power of Pink game on Sunday against Oklahoma. This fan support continues to build and build for this program. Remarkable growth for Alabama women's basketball fandom. Christy Curry is now in her 13th season leading this program, and these players certainly appreciate how many fans they've been able to play in front of this season here in Tuscaloosa. Alabama trailing by 10. Crimson Tide will have the basketball to start the third quarter as the Crimson Tide will now be playing on the right goal, South Carolina on the left. Carly Weathers will inbound the basketball to Diana Collins. They're joined on the floor by Essence Cody, Jessica Timmons, and Tamia Scott. All starters back on the floor for the Crimson Tide. Collins, top of the key against Latson, driving in from the left side. Puts on the brakes. A pass intended for Scott is tipped and stolen away by Carolina. Tessa Johnson to Edwards, driving, and a left side layup off the square, banked in. 44-32. South Carolina with a steal and score to begin the third quarter. Basketball with Alabama. Cody back to Collins on the left wing. Run the screen by Cody to the top of the key. Left wing to Carly Weathers. Weathers to Cody in the paint. Spins, works it out to Collins, but that's intercepted before it got to her on the right side. The clean steal by Latson. South Carolina with the basketball up by 12. 9:15 to play in the third quarter. South Carolina with Edwards. Right block, right side layup is short. Rebound tapped around and controlled by Carly Weathers. Basketball with the Crimson Tide. Scott over the timeline left. Tamia Scott, top of the key, loads up a three-pointer. Off the back iron, no good, and the rebound in transition by Latson. Latson dribbles to the top of the key. Latson to Edwards. Double team, left side lane, kicks it out to Raven Johnson, to Tessa Johnson, top of the key. Now in between the rings to Latson. Latson to the right elbow. Cody trying to poke the basketball his way as the pass finds Okot spinning around the paint. Her layup kicks out no good, and the rebound right blocked by Essence Cody. Basketball with Alabama. Collins at the top of the key. Downhill down the left side of the lane. Lost control of the ball. Edwards picks up the steal and gives the basketball right back to Latson to spark the Carolina offense. Raven Johnson kicks it out to Tessa Johnson. Left corner. High arching three, no good. And the rebound right blocked by Jessica Timmons. Up and down these teams continue to go to start the third quarter. Collins, right wing to Timmons, top of the key. She puts up a three. Off the back iron, no good. And the rebound, Okot left side lane as Carly Weathers has some contact and falls to the floor. Slowly trying to get up as Carolina works the basketball only for a moment. Tessa Johnson's pass intended for Joyce Edwards goes over her head and out of bounds. Carly Weathers was able to get up on her feet and walk back to the other end of the floor where she will now get ready for the inbounds pass as Dinah Collins goes out and Ace Austin checks in. Weathers inbounds the basketball to Austin. Just under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. South Carolina only outscoring Alabama 2-0. Alabama 0 for 2 from the floor this quarter. Gamecocks 1 for 4. Timmons driving down the right baseline, keeps the ball in play to Weathers on the left wing. Nearly mishandled the pass, dumps it off to Austin. Austin pierces the paint, kicks it out to Scott right side. Her three is up, in and out, no good. And a whistle blown. Foul called going for the rebound on Alabama. Essence Cody drawing her first foul today. 7:34 to go in the third quarter. It's South Carolina 44 and Alabama 32. Inbounds pass to Raven Johnson, who dribbles slowly over the timeline right. Johnson calling it a play with her left hand. A bounce pass to the top of the key to Latson. Latson around a screen by Okot to the left elbow. Lets her defender Weathers go by. Puts up a jumper that's good. 46-32. Basketball with Alabama. Ace Austin over the timeline right. Ace to the top of the key. Scott, quick handoff back to Austin, just left of center. Now Ace on the left wing to Scott, top of the key. Head fake by her. Started drive on the right side. Now the SEC logo. Little floater is up and in to Mia Scott. It's a double figure scoring with 10 points. 46-34. Alabama's first basket of the third quarter. That's just over 3 minutes old. A pass to Edwards right block. Lets her defender go by, put it up, and put it in. 48-34. Gamecocks by 14. 6:40 to go in the third quarter. Austin to Cody, and then to Carly Weathers on the left wing. Weathers, tight defense on her by Tessa Johnson. A handoff to Timmons, then a quick handoff right back to Carly. She swings the top of the key to Timmons. Head fake by her. Back to Weathers on the right wing. Her three is up. Off the back iron, no good. And the rebound by Edwards in the paint. Basketball with South Carolina up 14. 6:20 left in the third. Latson lost control of the basketballs. Going away, Ace Austin. Listening as well between players under the basket, but everyone's starting to move back down floor. Cody driving left side, layup good. Carly Weathers the assist. 48-36. Crimson Tide fighting back, starting to find some offense last two trips. Top of the key, Okot to a wide open Latson left side. Her three-pointer's up short, and the rebound Essence Cody. Then Cody's pass stolen away by Tessa Johnson, right to Latson, left side layup good, and a timeout called by Alabama. We'll take the break as well. 50-36, South Carolina leading the Crimson Tide. Still 5:47 to go in the third quarter from Tuscaloosa. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Alabama trailing South Carolina 50-36. Still 5:47 to go in the third quarter. Tonight's game is brought to you by Good Molecules. Keep your skin Roll Tide ready with Good Molecules and see a difference in your skin today. Add Good Molecules to your routine at Ulta Beauty in Tuscaloosa, also online on Amazon Prime. Thank you to Good Molecules for being a proud partner of Alabama women's basketball. Crimson Tide trailing here in Tuscaloosa, 50-36 is the score against South Carolina. The Gamecocks outscoring the Crimson Tide 8-4 in the third quarter. Tamia Scott now top scorer for Alabama with 10 points. Christy Curry calling timeout a moment ago, mostly due to the turnovers we've seen. Alabama committing 4 turnovers in the first 4+ minutes of this third quarter. Not taking care of the basketball. Gamecocks taking advantage, scoring 4 points off of those turnovers. 50-36, South Carolina leads Alabama in the second matchup between these schools this season. Earlier this year on New Year's Day, it was Carolina getting an 83-57 win against Alabama. Out of timeout, Crimson Tide will break the huddle and return to the floor with Ace Austin, followed by Tiana Chambers, Tamia Scott, Naomi Jones, and Jessica Timmons. Christy Curry talking with Carly Weathers on the bench, along with Diana Collins right there and Essence Cody. Inbounds pass from Scott to Ace Austin, and we're back underway. Austin just over the timeline at the top of the key. Ace on the right wing for the Crimson Tide. Spinning around, looking for some help. Able to work the basketball to Scott. Scott at the top of the key, a handoff to Timmons. The ball ricochets off her hands for a moment. 9 on the shot clock for Alabama. Here's Timmons, top of the key. Free throw line, pull-up jumper on the way. In and out, no good. Rebound fought for and won by Joyce Edwards of South Carolina. To Johnson, then to McDowell. Now McDowell over the timeline. In the center, picked up on defense by Ace Austin. Left side of the circle, worked to McKeer. McKeer to Johnson. Kicks it out in the right corner. Driving in Dowda, right side layup, blocked away, Naomi Jones. Ball going out of play off of South Carolina, so Jones got the block and the deflection. That will also take us to a timeout on the floor. 4 minutes, 58 seconds to go in the third quarter. It is still South Carolina with a 50-36 lead over the Alabama Crimson Tide. We'll be back with the remainder of the third quarter in just a moment. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. With everything Alabama with the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app presented by Cadence Bank. Download the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app now for free at the App Store and Google Play. You're going to need that app coming up this weekend with how busy we are with baseball, with softball. It is all happening right now here at the Capstone, especially for the Crimson Tide softball team. Want to give a shout out to frequent listener to Alabama women's basketball and baseball, really football, everything, men's basketball. Patrick Murphy, the head coach of the Crimson Tide softball team. They will be busy coming up tomorrow. It'll be Alabama softball against Elon at 9 a.m. from Tallahassee, and then taking on the host, Florida State, in the top 10 matchup at 4:30 tomorrow. We'll have radio coverage with Tom Canterbury, Gray Robertson, all across the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Baseball busy as well, coming up tomorrow at 4 o'clock against Rhode Island. Saturday at 2, Sunday at 1. Listen to Kurt Bloom call those games. Admission to the baseball booth cam as well on all of our CTSN social media platforms. Back underway in women's basketball. Crimson Tide trailing 50-36 with 4:54 remaining in the third quarter. Jessica Timmons, pass going in and out from Ace Austin, but Timmons recovers. Now to Chambers on the left wing. Chambers at the top of the key to the free throw line. Feels pressure, goes to Jones on the left block. Left side layup just short, and the rebound by Miriam Dowda for South Carolina. Here's McDaniel weaving through traffic. To McKeer on the right wing, guarded by Ace Austin. Bounce pass to Edwards, right block, right side layup, no good. Edwards the rebound, left side put back up, it is good, and she's fouled. 52-36. Joyce Edwards scoring for the Gamecocks, now with 12 points for Carolina, and she's close to a double-double with 9 rebounds. Foul going against Crimson Tide and Tamia Scott. First foul on Tamia. Chambers heads out for the Crimson Tide. Essence Cody back on the floor along with Naomi Jones. Here's Joyce Edwards to the free throw line for her and one. First player not named Maddie McDaniel on the line for the Gamecocks today, and she leaves the and one short. Rebound goes out of bounds as Alabama will get the ball back. Jessica Timmons had a collision with someone for Carolina, falling to the floor, but no whistle blown. 4:26 remaining in the third. South Carolina 52 and Alabama 36. Essence Cody inbounds on a bounce to Ace Austin. Austin dribbles over the timeline right to Jones in between the rings. Now on the left wing, Scott at the free throw line, backs up a step, bounce pass to Timmons. Timmons to Austin, right side three, got it. Ace Austin buries the three-pointer, and that makes it South Carolina 52, Alabama 39. Gamecocks with the basketball. McDowell just over the timeline over Script A and Crimson at mid-floor. Bounce pass to the left elbow. McKeer. Left side lane to Edwards. Alabama jabbing at the basketball with Timmons and Cody. Back to the top of the key. A three-pointer by McKeer. No good. Rebound by Dowda. Back to McKeer. McKeer finds Edwards' left block. Left side layup punched in. 54-39 South Carolina. Building up the lead. Here is Austin. Bounce pass finding Jessica Timmons on the right baseline. Back to Austin right side. Ace hitting a three a moment ago. Instead dribbles to the free throw line. Austin tried to go to Timmons before that's deflected. No, just out of play off of Alabama, out of bounds over the left sideline. Carolina inbounds with Edwards to McDaniel. 3:20 remaining in the third quarter. South Carolina 54, Alabama 39. Top of the key, Edwards. On the right wing, Tessa Johnson puts up a three, an air ball to the left. Carolina tried to save the ball in play, but that goes out of bounds. Last to touch it, Miriam Dowda, as that trickled to the Alabama pep band. Inbounds pass from Essence Cody right to Ace Austin. Austin dribbling over the middle of the timeline, picked up on defense by McDaniel. McDaniel to Cody at the top of the key. Cody, a handoff to Scott. Scott, free throw line. Spinning around, now to Timmons. Timmons, right block. Under the basket, Timmons feeling some pressure, backing up all the way to the left corner. Shot clock down to 5. Timmons reverses course, tried for a pass to Jones. It gets deflected. Here's Austin, right side three, good again. Ace Austin with her third three-pointer against South Carolina. 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's the Gamecocks 54 and the Crimson Tide 42. South Carolina with Edwards, left elbow, attacks in the paint, driving, and gets fouled by the Crimson Tide. Tamia Scott wanting a block to be called as she motioned to Billy Smith, one of our 3 officials for tonight. Foul against Essence Cody, that'll be the second on her. Tessa Johnson goes out, Tanaya Latson back in. Alabama faced Latson a few years ago in the NCAA tournament 2024 in Texas. At Austin, Texas, the Moody Center, Alabama picked up a first-round win against Latson when she was just a sophomore playing for the Seminoles. That was a game where Essence Cody Had a double-double, set at that point a career high. Brilliant performance by her as a freshman. First free throw no good by Edwards. 0 for 2 at the line. Edwards with 14 points, 9 rebounds today. This free throw is up and good. 55-42. Basketball with Ace Austin as she dribbles with the right hand over the timeline right. Austin floating it to Jones, left block, she's got it. Left side layup, left it short, but a foul, and then more contact as Edwards hits the deck. Edwards is called for the foul. First foul on her. First team foul on South Carolina in the third quarter. 2:15 to go in this third quarter. It's South Carolina 55, Alabama 42. To the free throw line, Naomi Jones for the first time today. Jones, a 61% free throw shooter. First one on its way, in and out, no good. Typically, has missed the first free throw, then makes the second. No numbers to really back that up, but anecdotally, that's what I've really seen from Jones. This time the second one bounces out no good, and Carolina with the rebound. Here come the Gamecocks with McKeer on the left wing to the top of the key. Edwards, right wing McDowell. McDowell looks low, finds Edwards on the right baseline against Ace Austin. Head fake by her. Edwards feeling pressure, passes in the left corner. McKeer floats it up from the left side and banks it in. 57-42, South Carolina back in front by 15 with 1:48 to go in the third. Austin over the timeline. Picked up on defense by McDowell. Ace, a bounce pass to the top of the key. Cody just inside the arc, spins around, dribble to the right, switches back to the right wing to Ace Austin. 10 on the shot clock. Ace starting to drive in against McDowell. Kicks in the left corner. Here's Carly with a three. That's good. Carly Weathers knocks down the three-pointer. Her second of the game. South Carolina 57, Alabama 45. 1:18 to go in the third quarter. Gamecocks with the basketball. Edwards to Latson on the right wing. Latson to Dowda. Head fake. Now driving left side. Puts up a shot. Leaves it short. Great defense, Naomi Jones. She also got the rebound. Then her pass intended for Scott. Nearly stolen away by Carolina. And then Jones was able to wrestle it free from everybody. She finds Cody. Cody spinning into the paint. And ball taken right away from her. Edwards with a clean steal. Edwards driving right side. Shot up and good, but a charge called, knocking down Tamia Scott, who takes that charge for the Crimson Tide. Diana Collins will check in for the Crimson Tide. Taking over for Ace Austin. Cody inbounds the basketball to Collins. Diana over the timeline left. Collins at the top of the key. To Cody, a step to the right. Here comes a three-pointer by Essence Cody. Long-range three-pointer by Essence, making it a score at 57-48. Alabama keeps climbing back. 6-0 Crimson Tide run in the last minute of play. 57-48, Gamecocks with the basketball. Latson driving, right side layup, couldn't get it past Jones, but a foul's going to be called. Naomi Jones guilty of what will be her second foul today. Fourth team foul on the Crimson Tide. Shooting foul, Gamecocks will be in the line with Latson. Crimson Tide will sub in Tiana Chambers, replacing Naomi Jones. Here is Latson to the line, 8 points today, 4 of 9 shooting. First free throw is well short. Gamecocks struggling at the line, 6 of 10. One more for Latson. Puts it up. In and out, no good. Cody, the rebound, tapped back into play, then goes out of bounds. Last touch by the University of South Carolina. So the Crimson Tide will get the basketball with 14.8 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Carly Weathers inbounds and a bounce to Collins, and then the ball quickly poked out of play by McDaniel along the left sideline. Carly Weathers will inbound the basketball. Weathers Their inbounds pass through the hands of Scott. Scott retrieves it mid-floor. 10 seconds left to go. Quarter number 3. Alabama trailing 57-48. Scott driving left side, spinning around, 2 seconds left. Underhand layup up and in before the buzzer sounds. Tamia Scott, Alabama's top scorer today against South Carolina. She scores to close out the third quarter, and it's a 7-point game as we get ready for quarter number 4. Alabama outscoring South Carolina 18-15 in the third quarter, and Alabama closes out the third on an 8-0 run. We get ready for the start of the fourth. Crimson Tide hanging tough with the nation's third best team, the Gamecocks. We will begin the fourth quarter next. Again, the score, South Carolina 57, Alabama 50. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Carolina 57, Alabama 50. Just saw Alabama close out the third quarter on an 8-0 run. Reminder, you can find all of our video content online, CTSN YouTube page, Home and Live Basketball Booth Cam. Presented by NASCAR, plus episodes of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR and Hey Coach. Make sure to subscribe to the Crimson Tide Sports Network on YouTube for the very latest on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Great close to the third quarter, especially with that basket by Alabama's Tamia Scott to close out quarter number 3. So the Crimson Tide trailing by 7 points. South Carolina this past quarter shooting the basketball 7 of 16, around 47% for the Gamecocks all game long. Three-pointers not going in for Carolina, just 3 for 14 in this game. Meanwhile, Alabama shot the ball 53% in the third quarter, and Alabama's made 10 three-pointers in the game compared to just 3 by South Carolina. So free ball helping the Crimson Tide get back in this contest. Still plenty of work to do as we get set to start the fourth quarter. 10 minutes on the clock. South Carolina 57, Alabama 50 our score. Alabama trying to avoid what would be its third straight loss this season. For the first time, 3 straight losses. Alabama at 20-6. Having lost last 2 times out to Texas A&M on the road and Oklahoma at home. Johnson with the basketball. Bounce pass to Okot. Okot to Johnson, top of the key. Johnson on the left wing, McDowell. Hands in her face by Chambers. Back around to Raven Johnson. Now right corner, Tessa Johnson. Her 3 kicks out, no good. Rebound by Edwards. Edwards right side forces it up and banks it in. 59-50. Basketball to the Crimson Tide with 9.5 minutes to play, down by 9. To Cody at the top of the key. Cody, handoff to Chambers. Left side 3. Off the iron, no good. And the rebound in the Crimson paint right under the basket by Ocon. Johnson pushing tempo over the timeline left. Bounce pass finds McDowell. McDowell in the paint to Edwards. Edwards against Cody. Throws it up, throws it in, and 1. 61-50, just like that. Carolina back to a double-digit advantage. Cody called for what is her 3rd foul. And that will send one of the SEC's best, Joyce Edwards, to the free throw line. First team All-SEC selection a year ago and an All-American. Joyce Edwards stayed in her home state of South Carolina, a native of Camden, and is performing well for the Gamecocks. And one is up and short, and the rebound to the top of the key, controlled by Ace Austin, back in the game for the Crimson Tide. Austin against McDowell, started to drive in on the right side, backs it up to the right wing. Austin through contact, through defenders, bounce pass to Scott, SEC logo floater, banks in. Tamia Scott with 14 points, 61-52. Basketball back to South Carolina. McDaniel calling out a new play as she scans the floor. Dribbles in between the rings to Edwards, top of the key on the left wing, Raven Johnson. Raven Johnson, right side of the lane, feels pressure, spinning against Timmons, 10 on the shot clock to Edwards, top of the key. Edwards just right of center. Edwards steps inside the perimeter against Timmons, lost her footing, sitting on the floor, a whistle blown, and Carolina calls a timeout. South Carolina timeout with only 2.5 seconds left on the shot clock, saving this possession against Alabama. Crimson Tide trailing by 9 with 8:24 to go. 61-52 our score here in Tuscaloosa. We'll be back with more in a moment. This is Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. .24 to go in the fourth quarter. South Carolina 61 and Alabama 52. Tonight's game is brought to you by Good Molecules. Keep your skin roll tide ready with Good Molecules and see a difference in your skin today. Add Good Molecules to your routine at Ulta Beauty in Tuscaloosa, also online on Amazon Prime. Thank you to Good Molecules for being a partner of Alabama women's basketball. Crimson Tide hanging tough with South Carolina. So far, 4-2. The Gamecocks outscoring the Crimson Tide here in the fourth quarter. Before we resume play, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Inside Coleman Coliseum. Roger Hoover with you. Courtside game being produced by Jerry Kelly at our Learfield Studios. Ethan Carabin, our video producer for the basketball booth cam presented by NASCAR. We're streaming live on all of our social media platforms at UA_CTSN. While you're watching, make sure you hit subscribe. Check out also later on our episode of Crimson Drive driven by NASCAR from earlier this afternoon. Inbounds pass. Nearly taken away by the Crimson Tide, but the Gamecocks recover. Here's Edwards, top of the key. That's up. No good on the shot, and a whistle blown. As everyone starts to move back to the other end of the floor. Three officials, Kamey, Smith, and Golbion, all talking things over. Christy Curry coaching up her team, and it will be a shot clock violation. Gamecocks only had 2.5 seconds to work with, so all confirming that they saw what they saw with the clock. Inbounds pass comes in to Ace Austin from Essence Cody. Ace over the timeline left. Tight defense on her by McDowell. Bounce pass to Jones at the top of the key. Jones and Cody on the floor at the same time. Two tall post players at 6'4" for Alabama. Here's Austin, free throw line, attacking the paint, nearly lost the ball on the right block. Bounce pass in the right wing to Timmons. Timmons feeling some pressure, spins inside the arc, free throw line. Timmons, left side of the lane, tried to go to Jones, but that nearly goes out of bounds, and it does. And turnover on the Crimson Tide. Gamecocks are playing Jessica Timmons really tight defensively. Timmons 3 for 8 shooting the basketball, but really not getting much space to create on her shots either from inside or outside the arc. As we're accustomed to seeing from Timmons, who's been Alabama's top scorer all throughout this season. 7:47 to go. Gamecocks 61, Alabama 52. Johnson on the left wing. Johnson in the left corner to Okot. Around the perimeter, top of the key, Tessa Johnson. Her three-pointer in and out, no good. And a foul called as Okot and Weathers both fell to the floor. And this foul will be on Carly Weathers. Kristen Curry would like to know why from Billy Smith. Second team foul. Just missed on the replay. The contact from Carly and Okot both going up for the ball. Second team foul in Alabama. No team foul so far on South Carolina in the fourth quarter. 7.5 minutes to play. Edwards, free throw line. Kicks it out to McDowell on the right wing. McDowell stepping inside the arc. Carly Weathers trying for a steal with the right hand. Instead, the pass goes in the right corner, and Okot buries the three-pointer. Okot had only hit 3 three-pointers in 26 games prior to tonight, but she has hit 2 trays against Alabama. 64-52, Gamecocks lead. 7:07 to go. Cody, right elbow. Downhill down the right side lane. Cody trying to fight for positioning, gets tangled up with her defender, and a foul called on South Carolina. Okot defending her too tightly. Okot some contact to the face as well, but doesn't look like a flagrant foul will be called. Shooting foul, it will send Essence Cody to the free throw line. Essence with 5 points today and 4 rebounds. First shot is good. Essence Cody with 6 points, 64-53. Second free throw good. 64-54. Alabama down 10 with still 7 minutes to play. Comeback's got to start with stops for the Crimson Tide. South Carolina with Raven Johnson left wing. In between the rings to McDowell. McDowell looking to coach Dawn Staley, and now trying to get everybody in motion. Floats at top of the key to Edwards, left elbow jumper off the back iron, no good. Rebound Essence Cody. All right, there's a stop. And then Scott had the basketball jarred loose by Raven Johnson out of bounds along the right sideline. Nearly a very tough turnover for the Crimson Tide as that ball goes out of bounds off of Raven Johnson. It will still be Crimson Tide ball, and Johnson stay on the floor. 2 officials talking away from the basketball about the shot clock, it appears. That has now been reset to 30. 6:33 to go in the fourth quarter. Alabama got the stop. How about some points? Trying to cut into a 10-point deficit against the nation's third-ranked team, South Carolina. Ace Austin just over the timeline for the Crimson Tide. To the top of the key, Jessica Timmons. Bounce pass to Cody. Essence Cody. Left elbow, spinning to Austin at the top of the key. Austin, step back three-pointer. Just short, and the rebound by Okot in the Crimson paint. Basketball to South Carolina, up by 10, 6:07 to play. Top of the key, Okot, who's hit 2 threes today. Bounce pass to Edwards, right block against Scott, throws it up, no good, but contact from Scott leads to a foul. Second foul on Scott. Third team foul against Alabama. Just 1 team foul so far on South Carolina. Joyce Edwards to the free throw line. 2 shots coming up for her. Edwards today with 19 points. Now 20, matching her season average, 65-54. One more shot coming up for Edwards. Puts it up and in. Joyce Edwards scores 2. 66-54. Crimson Tide with the basketball. Ace Austin just over the timeline to Timmons at the top of the key. Head fake by Jess. Timmons now backs up a few steps in between the rings. Tight defense on her by Raven Johnson. Johnson knocks the ball loose, trickles it to the backcourt, and now a fast break chance. Johnson driving, right side layup good. Christy Curry wants a timeout after that. A steal and score by Raven Johnson makes it South Carolina 68 and Alabama 54. Still 5:36 to go in the fourth quarter. Remember, the Gamecocks called timeout with 8:24 remaining in the fourth quarter, trying to save a possession. So that was our final media timeout of the game. This timeout from Coach Curry with 5:36 to go. After this ball game is over, make sure you stay with us for the Regions postgame show, featuring a conversation with Coach Curry, plus the final stats and more. Also get your University of Alabama Regions Visa debit card or prepaid Regions Now card today. Alabama and South Carolina playing for the second time this season. Crimson Tide, no more repeat opponents coming up the rest of the year. First matchup against Florida coming up Sunday. On the road at Vanderbilt's Thursday in Nashville, then home against Texas to close out the regular season. Essence Cody with the ball at the top of the key as a whistle is blown and a foul is going to be called on Latson. Carly Weathers was a little shaken up after some contact. Latson is called for her second foul. Second team foul as well on South Carolina. Crimson Tide will inbound the basketball with Ace Austin. On the right baseline, Austin, a bounce pass brings it into Chambers. That's Scott. Scott. Quick handoff back to Austin. Austin at the top of the key to Timmons. Left wing, Timmons free throw line in the paint. Timmons to Cody. Essence Cody against Okot, right baseline. 5 in the shot clock. Back to Scott. Scott, top of the key, Timmons. Her three is up and short, and air ball's out of bounds. 5:07 to go in the fourth quarter. South Carolina 68, Alabama 54. Inbounds pass, Okot on a bounce to Maddie McDaniel. Just over the timeline, McDaniel. Picked up on defense by Austin. Okot to Tessa Johnson on the right wing. Tessa Johnson into the paint to Latson, driving left baseline. Throws up a shot, blocked away by Cody as well as Scott. Ball loose and saved in play by Alabama's Jessica Timmons on a quick tip to Cody, then right back to Timmons. Timmons now to Austin, right corner three, too strong, and the rebound by Okot, left block. South Carolina back with the basketball. Up and down, these teams continue to go. Alabama hasn't scored in 2.5 minutes. Gamecock lead at 14 with 4:25 to play. McDaniel angles to the right wing, around a screen by Okot, top of the key. Then to Okot, a pass to the right baseline. Okot feels pressure from Cody to Latson. Left corner to Tessa Johnson, and a 3-second call going against South Carolina. Naomi Jones, Dinah Collins back in for the Crimson Tide. Ace Austin and Essence Cody head out for Alabama. Also, for the first time in the second half, Alicia Tornabees back in the game for South Carolina. Right now guarding Naomi Jones. Timmons at the top of the key. Bounce pass to Scott. Scott loads up a three. Off the iron, no good. And the rebound loose on the floor right side, picked up by Tessa Johnson. Baseball pass for her to McDaniel from left to right. McDaniel to Edwards, attacking the paint. Floater in the paint is good despite knocking down Scott with a little bit of contact. Edwards scoring to make it 70-54. 3:42 left to play here in Tuscaloosa. Gamecocks matching their largest lead of the game, 16 points. Collins of the SEC logo. Looks for help, bounce pass to Timmons. Timmons, left side, tried to go to Jones, but that goes off her hands and out of bounds over the baseline. Right in front of the Crimson Tide dance team and also a lot of Alabama student athletes. Crimson Tide soccer team, baseball team, members of the men's basketball team here as well. Cheer on Crimson Tide tonight. Great support from Alabama student athletes for their friends on the women's basketball team. Timeout called by Alabama, a full timeout trying to slow down the momentum of this 6-0 run for South Carolina. Gamecocks 11-1 in the SEC. Up next for South Carolina, they will be at home against Ole Miss on Sunday. The Gamecocks try and chase down what would be a 10th SEC championship here in the regular season. Once again, the SEC tournament will be played about an hour and 10 minutes away from their campus in Greenville, South Carolina. Look forward to getting to the Palmetto State from March 4th through the 8th. And right now, Alabama, along with a lot of teams kind of bunched together around the 500 mark. A loss today would put Alabama under 500 at 6-7 in the SEC with still 3 games to go. Next ball game will be at Florida Sunday morning, 11 a.m. tip-off. Our coverage from Exact Tech Arena will begin at 10:45. At Vanderbilt a week from tonight, that'll be a 6:30 Central tip-off. We are hoping that I'll be joined on the broadcast by Richard Hendricks, Nashville's favorite son, and somebody that always loves joining us for an Alabama-Vanderbilt women's basketball game on the radio. He is still petitioning the league office. Get the SEC women's tournament back to Nashville so he can hang out with us more on the radio. Inbounds pass brought into South Carolina's Maddie McDaniel. McDaniel just over the middle of the timeline with 3:20 to go here in the fourth quarter. 70-54, South Carolina leads Alabama. Latson at the free throw line, backs it up on the right wing to McKeer. McKeer gallops into the paint, throws it up, and banks in her shot to make it 72-54. Gamecocks with the largest lead of the ball game at 18 points. Just under 3 minutes to go. Carly Weathers at the top of the key. Weathers to Timmons. Timmons puts up a 3 off the iron, no good. Rebound tapped to the air, Carly Weathers, and she controls the board. Goes in the right corner. Collins puts up a 3. That's short, and the rebound fought for and won with Edwards. Knees on the floor, picks it up, quickly dumps it off to McDaniel, quickly down floor to McKeer. McKeer tried to go in between the rings to McDaniel, but that's stolen by Collins. Collins to Timmons, out to Scott, left side 3, blocked from behind. And the basketball stays with Alabama as the ball rolls out of bounds along the left baseline. Town Chambers and Lancia Ramsey back in for the Crimson Tide. Good block on the perimeter for South Carolina. Alabama will still have possession. Inbounds pass, Diana Collins. Left front court to Scott. Scott, top scorer with 14 points for Alabama today. Investigative drive down the right side of the lane. Back to the top of the key, Collins. Collins into the paint. Right block, 10 on the shot clock. Collins back in the crimson paint, needs some help. Bounce past Chambers, floater on the way. No good from the right side, rebound Collins. Collins puts it up, that's no good. And the rebound by Tornabees, basketball to South Carolina. 2 minutes to go. Gamecocks 72, Alabama 54. Crimson Tide have not scored in the last 5 minutes. Tornabees, top of the key 3, no good. And the rebound by Scott. Basketball with Alabama trying to break this long scoring drought. Gamecocks currently in the midst of an 8-0 run that's been stretched out over 4 minutes. Scott driving, nearly lost the ball. The ball ricochets to Ramsey. Her pass intended for Chambers is stolen away by Latson on the baseline. And Tornabees gets the pass from Latson. Quickly back to Latson, just over the timeline for Carolina. Minute and a half to play here in the fourth quarter. South Carolina 72 and Alabama 54. McKeer at the top of the key to McDaniel. Shot clock at 8. Now McDaniel driving into the paint, puts it up. No good on the shot, and a foul called against Alabama. That's on Diana Collins. Third foul that she has picked up. Second Crimson Tide player with 3 fouls. Also Essence Cody had 3 fouls. Carolina, no players with 3 fouls in this game. Closest to it, Latson and Edwards both with 2 fouls. Wyatta Jennings in the game for the Crimson Tide. Lourdes da Silva Costa as well, as the first free throw is up and good by McDaniels. 73-54. McDaniel puts it up and in. 74-54. Gamecocks to 20 in the midst of a 9-0 run. Crimson Tide with the basketball. Final minute approaching of this game. Collins at the top of the key to Jennings. Jennings, free throw line. Bounce pass on the right block. Da Silva Costa has it, puts it up, puts it in, and one. Lourdes Da Silva Costa. 74-56. Chance for one more at the line for Lourdes. 75% free throw shooter. She's been great. 9 for 12 when she's gone to the charity stripe this season. Foul on Maddie McDaniel. Second foul on her. Silva Costa has that one trickle in. 74-57. 58 seconds to play. South Carolina with the basketball. Maddie McDaniel, slow dribble over the middle of the timeline. Picked up on defense by Diana Collins. Now McDowell. Latson, right front court. Latson attacks the paint, spins around, throws up a right side layup. That's good. 76-57. Basketball back with Alabama with 38 seconds to play. Collins just over the timeline. Collins, left elbow. Passes to Jennings from left to right. Jennings on the right wing. Jennings spinning around right elbow into the paint. Tried to go to Collins, but that pass too strong. Just behind her, the ball rolls out of bounds beyond the left baseline. Carolina basketball with 22 seconds to play. Shot clock turned off. McDaniel likely will dribble out the final moments for the Gamecocks as South Carolina will win its 25th straight in the series against Alabama. Dawn Staley will walk to mid-floor, shake hands in 6 seconds with Christy Curry. Now the handshake begins. South Carolina picks up the win 76-57 over Alabama in a top 25 meeting here in Tuscaloosa. Third-ranked Gamecocks get the win over the 25th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. We will step aside, and when we come back, we will begin the Region's postgame show, have final thoughts from head coach Christy Curry, and more coming up as we, again, tell you the final score. South Carolina 76 and Alabama 57 here in Tuscaloosa. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Tide fall to South Carolina tonight, 76-57, the final score here in Tuscaloosa. Roger Hoover welcoming you to the Region's postgame show, joined by the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Christy Curry, presented by Ford. And Coach, a lot of three-pointers for your basketball team tonight. Sticking with South Carolina, what'd you see from Alabama this evening?
Yeah, just can't turn it over 20 times and give up 23 points. I think that's the key to it right there. I mean, disappointed in our ability to take care of the ball, which I think some were unforced, and then we got dominated in the paint at the 4 and the 5 spot. So just got to improve those two areas. When you're playing somebody like South Carolina, you know, you got to be able to make open looks. And I thought to start the game, we missed a whole bunch. And again, credit them. I mean, they're number 2, 3 in the country for a reason, and about to win our league because they're extremely deep and talented and have great size and play with great energy.
Your top scorer in this game was Tamia Scott. What did she do well for your basketball team this evening?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I thought she was fearless. I thought she was aggressive. You know, she definitely helped us out there and tried to keep us close at times. And, you know, we cut it to 7 one time there in the third and just couldn't sustain it. So credit South Carolina. They were able to make some plays, and we weren't.
Tough night for Alabama, but a quick turnaround in the SEC, as we always do from Thursday to Sunday. A road trip to take on the Florida Gators. What do you want to see from your team in practice?
Yeah, a really big game. It's going to impact seeding. We've got to do a really good job of taking advantage of the opportunity and bounce back. Right now, it's a little bit of a gut check and character check, and I think from our leadership group, from Jess and Carly, it's going to be pivotal that they get this team ready to play. The best teams this time of year are player-led teams.
Coach, we look forward to seeing Gainesville. Thank you for your time.
Roll Tide.
That's the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Christy Curry, always presented to us by Ford. Great things are possible when you have the power, the performance, and the smart features of a Ford F-150. Proud sponsor of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Greatness starts here at your local Ford dealer. Again, this is the Regions postgame show. South Carolina picks up the win, 76-57 over Alabama in Tuscaloosa. We'll have one final segment of the Regions postgame show coming up next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.